Welcome back to episode 9 of JuicedCast, a podcast made for resellers by resellers. Today I'm joined by my co-host Saucyy Mango. How's it going, bro?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be back, DTX. Last time I left off with you, we got a chance to talk to Ben. Had a great episode,
Yeah.
getting to know how he runs his cook group, how he's become successful in this industry. But one thing we forgot to mention in our last podcast was the upcoming. Well, now it's past, but the SneakerCon that you attended in your hometown of Dallas. Tell us a little about your experience at SneakerCon.
Yeah, got to meet a lot of people, I've met online, and it was really dope. I was fortunate to have my own table with some people this year. Um, and, just going as someone who was just into shoes, not a reseller, a couple years back, pre-COVID, and going back now it was a humbling experience. And I just want to thank everyone who made that possible, from, the SneakerCon people to, every single person that bought something from me, to the resellers that cashed me out, to the stores that cashed me out. Um, and most of all, like, to my partners I shared the table with. They presented me this opportunity, so it wouldn't be possible without them. And then also to the sneaker Twitter community. To be honest, I just thought I was like some IG reseller, and no one would really know who I am. But I got some really nice treatment from y'all at con, and I was able to meet a lot of y'all, and a lot of y'all were coming up to the table, and were surprised to meet me. So I really appreciated that. But yeah, that's really it. It was a fun experience. Um, I'd really recommend, if there's a sneaker con in your city, to go. Um, just for the experience more than anything. Obviously we were able to sell a lot of goods, and meet some athletes and meet some celebrities, YouTubers, and whatnot. I was able to meet JC, um, and he gave me some advice. We talked for a little while, and that was a pretty humbling experience as well. So I mean, just all in all, I'd give the event like a 10 out of 10. It was a great event.
Wow, man, that's amazing. Yeah, you know what? Like my experience with SneakerCon myself, like unfortunately with COVID here, we don't have the ability to, I think, host a SneakerCon this year in Toronto. But like you said, I've only attended just as like a consumer. Like I went for the Lotus shoes back in the day, so I haven't had the experience you've had yet. So that's really exciting. You mentioned how it was definitely like a humbling experience, and it was sort of different end of the stick of how it is going as an actual seller and connecting and meeting other people. How is that different? Like how would you compare that to just going to buy a pair of shoes at the beginning, just like as a fan of sneakers, right? And then now to just becoming like having your own table, and also like how much did it cost for that table, man? Like I'm sure it would cost quite a bit, because some people, I think the biggest mistake they make is some people show up, they get a table, and then they have like 12 pairs out, and then that's it. And it's like, well, you're not going to sell your product, and then you're $450 down the drain.
The table cost was in the high hundreds, but I was able to split it with some people. We kind of got two, combined it. Then this the other thing was, we had around, I'd say, 250 pairs total at the table. Maybe a little less, or it was around that. We sold out around 95 pairs within the first hour.
Oh,
Um, so we
wow.
had to go back, to our storage area, to my partner's house as well, grab some more pairs, come back, restock. And I'm sorry if I sound really tired. It really wasn't that easy. Like I was telling Saucyy Mango this, and I've probably gotten 6 hours of sleep in the past 50 hours.
Yeah, you've been
Um,
on a steady grind, man. Hard work
yeah,
pays off. It shows. It definitely shows.
like I can't even, like, just get everything together. Like, everything I've done in the past few days is meeting up with people that I've met online, going to dinner with them, going to events with them, going to sneaker con, setting up for con, constantly running. And something I wanted to bring up on the podcast was how surprised I was. And like, I no means mean to get political or anything with this, but how surprised I was of how um COVID has kind of seemed to gone away. in Texas. And I'm not saying, that it is, it's still a serious virus and should be taking it seriously. But I think they said there were 16,000 people at the event yesterday.
Damn.
Um,
So you're getting a little taste
yeah,
of reality again, back to sort of that normal
for
life
real.
again, eh?
Yeah, and that was a big reason SneakerCon was in Dallas this year, was because Dallas isn't, or Texas in general, is not real strict about the masks.
Yeah.
So I mean, you'll probably see pictures of me or in some posts that have been posted if you're on Instagram. But I was wearing my mask only because I'm not fully vaxxed yet. But I think there was 16,000 people there. I'd say like 70, 80% not wearing a mask, and that's fine. Um, it kind of gives you a sense of normalcy, like what you said,
Yeah.
which is crazy, which is a good thing because I mean it means that the world is going back to normal.
Mhm.
Um, but it was kind of like shell shocking because as far as I've been reselling, I started reselling before the pandemic, but like I've never been to a sneaker event like this, like
Yeah.
that packed.
Yeah,
Last
I can
sneaker event I went
imagine.
to was like fully socially distanced, limited capacity, um, hand sanitizer in, hand sanitizer out, temperature checks. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
And this time it was like
So how was like
it
how
was
was
like
the whole
2019.
how was the whole process for the day? Like, give us a little rundown on sort of like, a breakdown of like how it went down from the start to finish. Like, you got there. How did
So
you manage stock? How did you manage sort of making sure that everything got to the table, everything was good in place, making sure that no
yeah,
one
yeah.
was like,
So Friday, my partners went to go check out the table. I went to go meet up with some people that had flew in to meet us and have some fun at SneakerCon. So I was hanging out with them. I didn't really go to the convention center yet. Um, Saturday morning, woke up around 5:30,
Mhm.
got stock ready. Um, and keep in mind, like the night before, I went to bed at like 3, so it was like got like 2 hours of sleep. I was dead inside. This is when energy drinks come in clutch. But I had about 2.5 hours of sleep. Woke up, took care of the stock, got boxes ready, and we got an SUV. Put a bunch of pairs in there. I'd probably say like 60, 70 pairs in there we were able to fit. Took that to con. We had vendor passes, so we were able to get in early. Set up at the table, and then we went back, got some more pairs, came back. Then my other partner was driving a van. We were able to fit pairs in there, and we just set it up at the table.
Yeah.
Thing is, table could probably only fit like 70, 80 pairs the way
Yeah,
we
I've
had
seen
done it.
that. People have to get a little creative. I saw pictures. People had like bins flipped over, box flipped over, so they had extra stands and stuff
Yeah,
to put more of their product on there. Eh?
we were lucky. So ours was like against some like another table that was like they didn't really have much.
Yeah.
So we were kind of like they were cool with us using their space. So we like had
Oh,
maybe
that's proper.
9, 10 Home Depot boxes just filled with shoes, extra large Home Depot boxes. We probably had, and then under the table we had like probably like 45, 50 shoes.
Hmm.
So we're just getting creative with storing in, and second one sold, just putting it back. We had a clothing rack as well. So it was a fun experience all in all, very stressful.
Yeah.
But
So you
looking
recommend
back on
going
it,
in with a
wouldn't
big,
change
a
anything.
good amount of like friends and like a good team around you, right? To like get it all done. I don't think it's something you can really do by yourself. No.
I think you can do it by yourself, but you need someone. Like I know there's people doing it solo, but like no, I feel like I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. Well, I would say it's also hard to keep an eye on your stuff too, right? Like if you're going to be loading up stuff and making sure that everything's there,
Yeah,
that
at least
something
take
goes
like
missing,
someone
all
that
that stuff,
a
right?
friend. Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
have to be in a reselling. Just take someone to
Yeah.
help you with the load.
Yeah.
You can pay them like $12 an hour or something too. It's worth it.
Yeah. So, I mean, for those of you listening right now, DTX, like, who do you recommend goes to like SneakerCon? Like, who do you think should go to SneakerCon? Like, do you think anybody should go
Anyone,
or everybody?
anyone, and everyone in the sneakers. To be honest, I mean, it was a taxing fest. You've probably seen this all over Twitter. Tax, tax, tax. But I also taxed. I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of what we all went to the event for. It was to tax on pairs and tax on clothing, and that's exactly what we did. We
Mhm.
came, we saw, we conquered. It's like we were like everyone was saying, oh, you're not going to be able to move this, you're not going to be able to move that. I came in saying I'm going to move Legend Blues for 300, and I moved pairs for 300. I moved them for a little less. I moved them for a little more.
Yeah.
But I came. I set a goal, and we were able to complete it. Don't cut yourself short. That's the biggest mistake people at this events make. They're like, I'm just gonna sell for this much. It's okay. I'll take like a $5 loss. I'll do this. It's like, no, these events are built for you to tax. Take advantage of that. But
Yeah.
as a buyer, I went to go buy some pairs, and I can see the frustration. I was super frustrated with, as a reseller that was buying pairs. Like, come on, I can't buy it for that price. It's not going to be profitable for me. But at the end of the day, that just made me a hypocrite, right? Because I came
Yeah.
here to tax. I'm sure they came too. So, at the end of the day, I was understanding. I was able to cash out a few pairs. But yeah, that's really it.
So you talked about how, you were kind of surprised that you had sort of established this reputation now, and you have a good amount of sort of connections and people around you that know you now. But how would you say this really helps people who are looking to make a name for themselves? Like starting off small. I'm sure this is
Network.
a really good place to network, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I gained followers on my socials from meeting people in the elevator in the hotel, like that was next door. I wasn't staying there, but I knew some people that were. So I made connections from the hotel room to um, waiting for my Uber outside to
Hmm.
my waiter at dinner. He saw my hoodie. He's like, "Oh, you're
Yeah.
here for con?" I was like, "Yeah." So it's like just taking out. We went go karting the day before, I think, with some friends. It was fun, but the guy who was strapping me in was like, "Oh, I like your shoes," and I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You gonna go to con?" He's like, "Nah, I can't. I need these shoes though." I was like, "Here, let me give you my Instagram. Hit me with a follow, DM me." So it's like just that entire weekend, just constantly giving your number out. Make sure you have like business cards or something like that comes in clutch. I forgot mine twice at the event. Like I
Yeah.
came back and I forgot them again. So got them printed just for con. Didn't even take them.
Yeah.
But I made sure to give everyone my Insta. I had some post-it notes and I wrote it down there. Just getting creative with that. But that's really it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. I think also in terms of branching out, meeting people, right? I think some of the mistakes that people make. You mentioned one of them, which is like bringing your business card, being something that people can remember you by. But it's also, some people, unfortunately, they get a table or they get, a spot where they sell their stuff, and then they actually don't go around and network and meet other people. I think that's the biggest thing. It's just even so much as if you're not necessarily looking to do business with someone, like right then and there, it's just about saying hello, putting a name to a face, and so on, and then reaching out to them later on, possibly for potential business. I think that's really what it boils down to. But you said before you haven't really gone to anything as big as SneakerCon. Like what other meetups do you attend, or what other big sort of conventions have you been to, and how do they compare to SneakerCon?
I've been to smaller ones, never one as big as SneakerCon. When I went 2 years back, this one was bigger. I'll say that for sure. Um, this one was just, I maybe it's just me, but it was refreshing. Being locked up for 2 years, with quarantine.
Yeah.
Just going to an event like this, it's a feel good thing, right? It um makes you feel good that we're finally looks like we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Um, which was really nice, and I think um I might fly out for another con or something. Heard there's one in Kansas City in September or something like that, and there's one in Phoenix coming up, and might just go and network there if I can find myself the time. But this one was really just nice because it was in Dallas, so this is my hometown, and um, just meeting up with people that also flew in. It was a great event, man. I don't know how to like put it into words. Um,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
was able to meet with a lot of people from Twitter and from Discord and from Instagram and from people that just have my phone number, um, things like that. So it was a good event. No
Yeah.
complaints.
Yeah. So I was actually earlier, I was looking into, SneakerCon and their future events. I know you mentioned sort of, I think it was Phoenix, right? Is one of them where they're going to be going. And then I think Cleveland
Yeah,
is another one.
Phoenix, and I
But
don't think they've announced
they
it
also
yet, but
have, I don't know if
Kansas
you know
City.
that, I don't know if you know this, but they also have like a virtual event that's happening too. So, for
Yeah,
those of you who might be listening to us from the UK, or even, from where I'm at in Canada, like this is stuff that you could potentially like sign up for. I think would be like very good opportunity to just meet people. I think if I remember correctly, the date is like June 26th to 27th. So, hopefully you'll be there. I'll try to tune in onto that
that's my
virtual
birthday.
con.
Huh?
Yes, sir. TTX birthday.
I don't think I'm
So
gonna go to
be
con on my
there not
birthday,
only
man.
to sell some shoes and meet TTX, but also wish him a happy birthday as well.
No, man. I don't know if I'm trying to stay at virtual con on my But it's a good idea. I just don't know how they're going to execute that. I was looking into that as well. It just seems really difficult to execute. I think this is
Yeah.
their first year they've done it. But you know, why not
Well,
give everything a
also the
try?
thing is that gives, unfortunately, and I really feel bad saying this, but that gives rise for opportunity for people to, I guess, like surpass that barrier of authenticity, right? Like how can you really guarantee stuff virtually at that point, right? What you're getting is
I
virtual.
guess, but I'm like just assuming the big buyers aren't really going to go to virtual sneaker con. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like at the end of the day, the biggest buyers were store owners.
yeah,
Store owners came and they came with cash. Like one guy cashed me on some Legend Blues, and it's probably like it's like probably like I don't know, like it was like only like 8 pairs. Like it's not going to cost him that much, right? Out of his
yeah,
pocket, he's like, all right, I got 40,000 cash here. Just tell me how much I need to owe you. I'm like, holy shit!
yeah. They had a lot
Yeah,
of like ATMs. I'm pretty sure you saw that, right? Like ATMs just loaded up everywhere across SneakerCon, and
yeah,
that's for
it's
people to bring in
crazy.
cash out.
But yeah, someone I know, he was in the trading pit, and he purposely set up next to an ATM. I was there, and he's like, dude, I don't have the cash on. He's like, there's an ATM right there. I was like, oh, that's genius. But yeah, great event all in all. Recommend it. You know, I was able to meet some people from Discord. That I met one guy who, he's gonna listen to the podcast now. And he'd heard of the podcast before. I think he listened to one of the episodes, and he said it was good. So
That's amazing.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool meeting y'all, and hopefully I'll get to meet y'all in the future. I'll definitely tweet, when where I'm gonna be in future sneaker events. I'll probably be at Kicks 101 in Dallas. If you're gonna be there in August, the back to school event. I'll be there for sure. Probably I'm gonna get a table there. I might be at SneakerCon in Kansas City. I don't think I'm gonna go to the one in Phoenix.
Mhm.
But Kansas City sounds fun. If it works with my schedule, I'm talking to one of my homies who lives there and possibly staying there and um, going to that sneaker con. But I'm definitely planning on going out to future sneaker cons. I think there's I was talking to one of the managers of con, and he was saying that they're probably going to bring it back to Dallas just because of how big the market was. So I'll definitely be back in the
Wow,
Dallas
that
one.
is
They always bring it
amazing.
back to yeah, because I think it was in Dallas in 2019, then 2020, no COVID year, and then 2021. So
Yeah.
I think they're gonna bring it back 2022. And honestly, my goal for 2022 is this year split a table with some people. I was talking to them. I was like, let's buy 4 or 5 tables, right? All of us we split tables, and that'd be like 800 pairs. So I don't know that seems like I don't know if it'd be 800 pairs. It'd be a lot of pairs. It'd
Yeah.
be high 3 figure pairs. So I mean, that'd be a lot of fun and just expanding. Right at the end of the day, Urban Necessities, JC, he had his own like booth, like had his
They
own
always
wall
got
and
they
everything.
always take over, man.
Yeah, so I think he bought like 900 something pairs. Crazy.
Wow.
But that'd be insane if we could, get maybe 3, 4 tables and kind of create our own booth. I think that'd be awesome. But you never know what the future holds.
Yeah,
This event
hopefully,
was
man,
fun,
I can fly
you
out
know.
to you guys and do that stuff with you guys. As a Canadian, it's tough to do that now with border stuff
So
and everything going on. But I'd love to do that with you guys.
someone from outside the US actually flew in. I think it's from Canada. He quarantined here too. I
Really?
think it's from Vancouver. I could be wrong. But the problem with him was he only shipped grails because of how high the shipping cost was.
Yeah.
He only sent grails because he sent like off-white sales and all that. Because he was like, dude, if I sent GRs, I'm not going to profit because of how high the shipping would be.
Hmm. Well,
So,
yeah, that's a big problem that we face here, like dealing in
yeah,
Canada.
so he was trying to get a table, but he's like, dude, I don't have like 100 grails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was like, I just ended up going to the trading table, like 10, 12 pairs, and he sold all of them. But he was like, I came here for networking, couldn't really sell pairs because of the shipping costs.
Yeah.
So that's a big problem unless you're willing to drive down here, which would be horrendous. At that point, you're spending so much money on gas; it's better to just ship it.
You
So
probably also have to rent out like an actual big van, like a moving
yeah, I
van.
mean, it depends on how many pairs you're taking. If you have an SUV, you could probably make it fit, but like
Yeah.
put the last 2 chairs down. It's
You have
possible.
to consider. You have to consider if
Get
someone's
creative.
traveling that far by car, they got other stuff they need to bring with them too, right? You can't just load up
It's
with
true.
sneakers. So yeah, that
It's
that
true.
is that is a little bit of a pain.
Just buy
Um,
your closet at con.
yeah, yeah. So those of you who've managed to get this far into the podcast, listening with us, thank you very much. I wanted to end off with one last question with you. And so, DTX, what are like some takeaways you can sort of give our listeners from SneakerCon? Like, what word of advice, or I guess like mistakes you think they should avoid for the future if they plan to partake in something like this?
Um, really just I'd say plan in advance. And I mean this, I didn't plan for SneakerCon until Friday night. Um, and that was, irresponsible of all of us, like me, my partners. My partners were out until like 5 a.m. the night before, and your vendor pass closed at 10:30. They came at like 10:15
Wow.
with all their pairs. So, just we were all kind of having too good of a time. But you know, at the end of the day, that's kind of what it was all about. Meeting these people I haven't ever met. Going out to dinner, going out to other things as well. Um, just getting turns up in Dallas. But it was really fun. Appreciate everyone who came up to me and had a conversation with me. It meant a lot. Especially as someone who I didn't start that long ago on Instagram, and just to see. And I mean this like from like I genuinely mean this. Like, I really didn't expect people to know who I was, and just to like, get stopped. They're like, oh, I actually bought a pair from you back in August 29th or 2020, and you were the first person I bought a pair from. One guy, I don't know if he's kind of low key. I don't know if I want to say his name. He doesn't have Instagram, but he bought a few pair. He like, I guess he just sells on like to stores and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
I guess what happened was he actually bought from me. He was one of my first customers. Um, and he's been buying from me ever since. And he came to my booth, and he uh he saw some stuff that I usually sell that a lot of people don't sell, some clothing stuff. He was like, "Oh, are you DTX?" I was like, "Yeah." And it's like, "Yeah, I'm this guy." And I was like, "Oh, no way!" And just like talking to each other about that, which is crazy. Just seeing this guy that you see behind the screen, right, for
Hmm.
so long, and find like since like I said, he was one of my first customers. Like, I know this guy, and like just the way he recognized me without even knowing how I looked or anything like that, right? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's crazy.
Um, I got to meet with some Twitter people. I got to meet with some of my homies in an F&F group I'm in, and got to meet with some of the homies from just sneaker Twitter in general, whether it be um, I'm at Resell Memes, Ken. It was great meeting him. It was great meeting Nettie. Um, he's a Botmart middleman, so it was great meeting all of them. So all in all, like I said earlier, 10 out of 10 event. Would I recommend to people though? Prepare in advance.
Okay, definitely. So you heard it here first. Next time you guys plan on going to an event like this, you guys got to stay organized. Make sure that you got everything planned to the T. I think that really, I mean, that ties to anything you want in this industry in order to be successful. Is just a lot of organization, right?
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better.
But anyways, I think we're gonna wrap it up today. I really enjoyed this conversation. It was good to know a little bit about how SneakerCon went for you down in Dallas, man. I wish I could be there, but hopefully I'll be there in the future. And hopefully we, for those of you listening, we can also meet you guys as well in a future event.
Yeah, 100%. That'd be dope.
Anyways, I'll leave it at there. Until next time, guys. Peace.